Madam Deputy Speaker, this is a grave moment, not just for the United Kingdom, not just for Europe, but for the entire Atlantic world. The President of the United States is acting not as a responsible global leader, but like an international strongman, threatening to trample over the sovereignty of allies, openly undermining NATO, and using economic coercion to force submission. Let us be clear about what is happening. President Donald Trump is threatening our country and 7 European allies with punitive, damaging tariffs unless he's allowed to seize control of Greenland, not through diplomacy, not through negotiation, but through pressure, intimidation, and economic force. That is not leadership. That is not partnership. That is bullying. Without provocation and without justification, the President of the United States is attacking our economy, our livelihoods, and our national security. British businesses and British workers are now on the front line of an unprovoked trade war launched by a supposed ally. And let us be honest, there are only 2 people applauding this behavior on the global stage: Vladimir Putin and Xi Jinping. Only months ago, President Trump stood at Windsor Castle and praised the so-called special relationship. Today, that relationship is close to being in tatters, not because of Britain or Europe, but because of the reckless actions of the White House. For over a year, Madam Deputy Speaker, the Prime Minister has pursued a policy of appeasement, flattering President Trump, avoiding confrontation, refusing to stand up for our interests, believing that submission would spare us from tariffs and threats. That strategy has now been tested, and it has failed. Appeasement has not bought stability. It has invited aggression. It is time for this government to change course. We must finally be clear-eyed about the kind of leader we are dealing with. President Trump responds to neither loyalty nor restraint. He responds to pressure. He responds to power. He believes that might makes right. That territory can be taken if enough force is applied. That allies can be treated like vassals. That is a dangerous worldview, one that threatens the foundations of NATO, the Atlantic Alliance, and the rules-based international order that has kept peace for decades. So let us speak plainly. There are only 2 ways to make a bully back down. One is corruption, bribing him with favors, luxury deals, private jets, or billions quietly flowing into personal business interests and crypto accounts. The other is courage, standing up to him, standing together with Europe, standing shoulder to shoulder with Canada, standing firm across the Atlantic. That is how bullies are stopped. That is how sovereignty is defended. That is how democracy survives. This is not just about Greenland. It is about Europe. It is about Canada. It is about the Atlantic Alliance. And it is about whether America chooses to lead the free world or threaten it. So the choice before us is simple. Do we bend or do we stand? Madam Deputy Speaker, I know which side history will judge kindly, and I ask the Foreign Secretary, which one does this government choose?